This one should be better. Because it's not the first one. I did recently what do you call it? A quick and shitty on the first one, and I did not have kind things to say about it. A lot more kind things to say about this guy here. So my chief complaints about Castlevania the Adventure were really slow control, really poor jumping, it's way too tight, just no sub-weapons. It looked fine, it sounded fine, but it did not play fine, and I think that, you know, in the grand scheme of things, what is a video game, at least an older video game, if it does not play fine? You know, we could have the graphics versus gameplay versus art, blah blah blah, argument to death, I guess. But for me, you know, it's not a good game if it doesn't play fine, at least from an old school sense. And that one did not. This one does. I mean, look, watch. He actually jumps farther a little bit. No, not that far, but he moves a little faster, and he just does not feel sluggish. The one thing that's missing is I can't skate anymore. You remember my favorite thing about that last game was skating. Nope. He actually walks like a normal human being, like a Belmont do. Do it like them Belmont boys. All right, jump off a rope. Oh, and also you can whip while on a rope, so that's good. Allow me to demonstrate. Also, this game just looks. I mean, the first one didn't look bad. I actually think the first one looked alright. This one looks legit good, like very good. I also like Christopher Belmont's character model a little better. He actually looks like he's wearing something. Oh, and look at that! It's a sub-weapon, Holy Water, which you did not have in the original game. And what I'm about to show you is one of the things that I don't think you could comfortably do in the first game because of the level of control you had, which is to say, not very much. It's much easier to control this time around, and so you could have fun with things like this automatically moving rope and reliably jump off. Here it goes. I feel like in the first game you could have still done it. You just would have struggled a little bit. And this one I have very little issue with. Oh, also in the first game, if you drop like that, you would drop like a sinking, not a sinking rock, like a very fast dropping at terminal velocity drop. And you just zoom, just fall your ass into some pits. This one, you know, it's a video game drop, you know? See? Look at how he floats down, and it lets you control him better. Oh, there's also this. Oh, look at me. Did you miss it? Did you miss it because it was so fast? Oh! Did you get it that time? So, you can do that. Also, he auto-grabs a rope, which, you know, again, is just a nice-to-have thing that just makes playing this more enjoyable. Ooh. Things like this were a chore in the first game. Now they're just a good challenge. Shit. Okay. But yeah, in my estimation, this game plays a lot better. Looks better, even though the first one looked good. Sounds better, even though the first one sounded okay. I think the music in this game is quite good. Yeah, just basically an improvement all around. And you also notice that I selected this stage. This game lets you choose the first 4 stages to take down in any order. And then it puts you in Dracula's castle, and then that's like kind of a 3-stage linear thing. But it's laid out. Oh shit! Did not need to jump there. See, I'm dumb. I'm talking, and I also have no skill. So you know, that's just when you suck at things, you lose lives. And, Alright, I'm gonna hide, tuck away in this little corner here. Oh, no, not enough. Alright. Ah, I missed it again. This is not going good for me. I don't know if it's apparent if you're just watching this as opposed to playing this. But I guess when I first played this, and I think I was maybe 10 at the time. I can't remember. This is a full year after, or maybe 2 years after Castlevania The Adventure had come out. Or, I shouldn't say it had come out, but since I had played it. And it was one of those things where I recall in my mind how bad the first game was, and you know, instantly noticing a difference in how much better this go-around was. I don't think I really paid too much attention to how bad games were. I just, you know, felt that they were bad when I was young, at least. And Castlevania The Adventure was one of the first games when I was younger that I actively just remember as, wow, this is a special kind of bad. Like way to go. You're that fucking bad. So, you know, kudos to you. That was one. Mortal Kombat for Game Boy. Oh my god, that was another. And that was one of the first games, one of the only games when I was younger that I thought about it in that way, that I distinguished a level of bad. Not just like, oh, I don't really like this, but, oh, bad. And this was just such a stark difference when I played the first stage that I chose, which happened to be the, I want to say the Crystal Palace, which is what I traditionally choose when I, oh, shit, no, good. Which is what I traditionally choose when I play this game. I'm starting off here with the Cloud Castle because I wanted to show off these rope tricky rope segments, which I think, you know, again is just, it just exemplifies the things that you probably couldn't do intuitively in the first game because it was so hard to control. And this one, it just feels tight. It just feels well done. Chris Belmont is still no, you know, limber gentleman. I should probably get off here. He's still not a limber gentleman, but I mean, he is still lumbering is a good word for it. But he feels like a Castlevania game once again, you know. And I think Castlevania has always been, well, I shouldn't say always. The older Castlevanias are largely, to me, defined by, hey, here's a guy who doesn't move especially fast. He's not especially agile, but he gets the job done. And you know, the games are usually designed around those limitations, which is not to say that they give you ultra lenient jumps, but the jumps are placed just enough so that you can make it as long as you know, use skill. You know, this jump that I just had right here is, you know, it's not a generous jump for him because, you know, his jumping is still not like, you know, the greatest, but it's much more considerate, I guess. It's very kind. A thoughtful gentleman this game is, or gentlewoman, to Christopher's athletic inabilities, so to speak. Shit. And here's some slowdown. Shit. You also notice that I spent a lot of time, even though I just got hit with this chain whip of mine. You remember that in the first game, every time you got hit, your upgraded whip would go down a level. And in this one, that doesn't happen. They let you keep the whip. Depending on what you get hit by and when you get hit, you may lose a level, but it's not automatically, oh, every time you hit an enemy, you lose your whip level. So, much more forgiving in that. Of course, they're the sub-weapons. You saw me use the Holy Water, and it works the same way as it does in the NES games, where it leaves a drop of flame, and it does constant damage to the enemy. You know, one of the better weapons in the old game. It feels less like a Castlevania afterthought and more like a Castlevania game made for a portable system. You know, if that's the best way I can put it, is that it actually feels like a mini Castlevania and not a compromise. Let me put it that way. Even the length of the game, you know, you've got 4 of these stages, and then I think it's 3. I think it's 3 levels in Dracula's Castle. So that's 7. The original NES Castlevania had 6, you know, and that Game Boy game, you know, that's a reasonable length. And the challenge is there. The challenge is there. And it's challenge not brought on by, oh, I can't really jump in to give me knee. But it's, you know, oh, we're going to design the level in an interesting way. And, you know, it's a little easier, but it's also not going to be a cakewalk. You know. Oh, the other thing that they brought back is the destructible walls. So hopefully I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to a pot roast to replenish my life. And 1-ups. They also still have those hidden areas that they had in the first Castlevania adventure for Game Boy, where you would climb a rope into the ceiling, and so they still have that here too. Here's the funny thing, you'll notice. Here's where I die sometimes because I'm an idiot. Okay. If you rewind this video and go back to the beginning where the title screen is, you'll notice that it doesn't say Castlevania The Adventure 2, it's just Castlevania 2, which, you know, is kind of dumb because there is a Castlevania 2 on NES, but, you know, still, I kind of feel like they're like, oh, people don't like that first Castlevania game, it wasn't that great. Yeah, I say you do. Alright, don't use that name anymore. So, they named this game without the adventure part, and they rebranded themselves and said, Castlevania Adventure 2? What are you talking about? Adventure? No, we never made a game like that. No. Oh, the first one on Game Boy? Oh. That was a nuss, man. That was a different franchise, you know. So, also, this is something you could not do in the first game. You know, the fact that you couldn't slide down ropes, you know, this specific hazard, this gimmick, would not fly. You wouldn't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it. And also, you don't die in one hit from these, which is nice. You know, call it the pansy way out, but it's nice. And it's one of those things where, if the reason why I almost said Simon, why Christopher moves so slow is because of the limitations of this hardware, then they recognized that and said, you know what, we are not going to try to shoehorn some difficulty in there. We're going to design these levels and this game around those challenges. We're not going to make the spikes kill you. We're going to give you a little slide. We're going to make the jumps a little bit more forgiving. And here's another cool thing, is that this level, while it's mostly linear, you do have a choice between that path that I just went down and this one that I'm about to go up. I usually take the up. I'm going to go down this time. So that was cool, you know. Just, hey, like a moment of non-linearity. Even though it's still, you know, a point A to Z level, it's, oh, hey, buddy. Move, bitch, get out the way. Alright, oh, am I gonna get hit? Oh my god. That would have been embarrassing. Oh! Why'd I do that? Don't die? Okay. Yes, the water does affect the current does affect your walking, by the way, so that was what was happening there. Broken brick? No? Okay. So I've gotten hit a couple of times, I still have my fireball. And like the last game, fireball does half damage, so this is the end of that roundabout path. That I could go up here and then go in circles. So this is the end of that path. That's, ooh, pot roast. So not too, like, oh, it's Grand Theftvania on Game Boy, but you know, it's a nice little non-linear touch. There's some other levels where they're two levels in a different sense, in a manner of, you know, the high road and the low road. There's some other stages with a high road and a low road that you can take. It's on the same screen, but it's like, you know, you can choose to stay on top of the bridge or on the bottom part. Excuse me. And you know, again, it's not the, and there goes my phone. It's not the shining example of non-linearity in games, but it's again, it lends a little variety to just the back and forth, like, and it doesn't really matter because I'm fucking shit, because I've got more life anyway, so whatever. Ah! It just sucks to get hit. Whatever. Come on, gone. And there are 2 more stages in Castlevania coming up. So yeah, 5 more stages in all. Is that math right? 2 plus 3 is 5. Yes, 2 plus 3 is 5. I know math. And I'm a middle-aged man talking about games, and I know my math. So, you know, you take that for what it's worth. I don't know. If you're going to play a Castlevania game on Game Boy, make it this one. I'm going to do one of these for the 3rd one as well. Not so hot. Better than the first one. You can actually control your jumps in midair in that one, but it's otherwise not... I don't know. It's just... It also kind of looks like ass, but that's, you know... Anyway... Castlevania 2. Not Castlevania The Adventure 2. Castlevania 2. Belmont's Revenge for Game Boy. Out in the eBay store now, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah. If you're going to play one Castlevania game for the original Game Boy, make it this one. And, you know, even if you had never thought about it, yeah, this is a nice diversion. It's a good game. I was honored to have played it. Now I'm a bat. I don't know if that's a bad sound. I'm done. Nah.